Yeah, I'm sick. Okay, that's not very good news. And unfortunately, this is not just a cold or a stomach ache or a headache. Is it sure? I'm pretty sick. Oh my god. And for the past year or so, I have been filming and documenting the process of being diagnosed and finding out exactly what is wrong with me. So let's go back to the 8th of May 2024 when I was filming a video about Taiwanese 30 minutes fast food lunches when I said this. I'm shaking so much every time I eat on camera. I'm just really anxious. I want to make this video as authentic and genuine as possible and give myself too much pressure. Don't worry, everything is fine. Don't worry, everything is fine. But as we will see in this video, everything didn't turn out to be fine. And after 4 or 5 different doctors, varied opinions and different diagnoses.
Tumor.
Yeah, that's cancer, right? Holy shit.
We have to check her. He doesn't know that.
I finally have an answer, and I will be sharing that with you guys today, but it certainly hasn't been a simple journey. Oh my god, that's so fucking scary. And it all started in that fast food video when I was editing it, and I noticed something really strange about my right hand, something really wooden and fake. So after quite a bit of encouragement from my good friend and video assistant Annie, it was May the 9th, and I made my way down to the local clinic to start the process of finding out what's wrong with my hand. So this video might not be the usual happy, positive video that you're used to, but it's definitely going to show a side of life. It is important, especially as a middle-aged guy. So I've come down to Dr. Wu's clinic, a neurologist I found on Google, see what this shaking is all about. Hopefully it's something related to my stress levels, not something physical. Wait for them to open and see what he's got to say. Hopefully my Chinese doesn't let me down. In fact, as I walked into the clinic, my poor Chinese was the last thing on my mind. And as a single guy living alone, it's often very difficult to make that first step and walk into a clinic when there's something wrong with your body. But if this video can help just at least one guy get over that hurdle, then I guess this video is worth making. But anyway, yes, seeing as this is a clinic I've never been to, I had to register. 你好，我没有来过，我就是要看医生，因为我的手有一点抖抖的。你有健保吗？我有健保。你有健保是吗？有。And after a short wait, it was time to go into the doctor's clinic and try to explain exactly what was wrong with me. 医生好。你好，我的右手，一直抖，
常常会抖。
对，我的朋友说一定要来看医生确认一下。
连你的椅子好，来体院内画一个圆圈，来 this one。
很害怕我有中风还是这样的东西。
那 cerebrovascular disease 那是，也有可能是 early stage of Parkinson。
有可能吗？
我想有可能。
So yes, the doctor had made his initial diagnosis, and after simply watching me write my name, draw a few lines in circles, he had suspected that I had early onset Parkinson's disease.
Suspect the Parkinson, suspected that.
My mind was absolutely racing, and as the doctor was continuing to talk in Chinese, I was trying to rack my brain of everything and anything I'd ever heard or read about this disease, and the one thing that kept coming to my mind was my age, 42. Parkinson's is an old man's disease. What the hell am I doing with Parkinson's at 42? 你说那个 early onset Parkinson's 42岁可以吗？
Parkinson usually 是比较 late onset 也到50-60岁比较会，那有时候也可以讲是 onset 也可以。那你目前算是应该是不是 early stage？
So yeah, it seemed that the doctor was at least quite sure of his initial diagnosis, but for me at this moment, with such a serious disease, quite sure didn't cut it. So I wanted to ask the doctor, how can we be 100% sure? 我们怎么可以确定？
没有办法确定了，因为这个东西是比较 clinical diagnosis, therapeutic diagnosis.
So yes, according to this doctor, there was no test or scan that could be done at this moment in order to confirm the Parkinson's disease, and it would be diagnosed through symptoms. So with as much faith as I could possibly have in this doctor's initial diagnosis, I collected my medicine that he'd given me for the next week and made my way outside to where I'd filmed the intro. And I think my reaction sums up pretty much how anybody at 42 having just been diagnosed with Parkinson's would react. 2 words: holy shit. The doctor suspects I have early onset Parkinson. It says it's just suspected, it's not sure yet, so I've got some medicine. So home I went and took my medicine, which I filmed apparently on a potato. Every morning, every night for the next 7 days, I'll be taking these 2 pills. But yes, after 7 days of taking this medicine, I had another appointment with the same doctor that I didn't film, but during that appointment, I explained to him that I wanted a second opinion. Could he refer me to China Medical Hospital maybe? Which is where the story picks up on May 20th, 2024, 11 days after my initial diagnosis. Okay, so the situation has progressed a little bit since the last time I spoke to you, and I've been referred to China Medical University Hospital, where I'm going to see a specialist. So after registering and swiping my health insurance card, I took a seat and waited for the doctor to see me. And of course, kept working the whole time, as regardless of the fact I'm sick or not, I still have deadlines to hit and videos to publish. But eventually, my number was called and I could go inside to see the second doctor and get that all-important second opinion.
右手怎么了？
动得很慢，右手，然后就是好像会抖这样。
这样多久？
一个月差不多。
那你有办法写字吗？
一个月前很难写，很臭，很小。But yes, in this second consultation with the second doctor, he had some similar questions, tests, and exercises for me to complete, very similar to what I'd done with the first doctor.
眼睛闭起来，眼睛闭起来 ，Close your eyes.
But this second doctor's opinion was very different to the opinion that I'd been given 11 days earlier.
怕中风，我要帮你排一个电脑断层。
Yes, a stroke was now my newest and most up-to-date diagnosis.
怕是一个小中风啦，有时候小中风不会影响到脚，只有影响到手，或者只有影响到脚，不影响到手。
And while it is equally as shocking at 42 to have had a stroke, I felt pretty good that it wasn't 100% confirmed Parkinson's. And as I did with the first doctor, I wanted to know, how could we make suspicion into confirmation?
脑波检查。
不是电脑断层。
电脑断层。
So yes, his first recommendation was that I have a CT scan, which would show any signs of a stroke. And also, as I was leaving, just as I was saying goodbye, he dropped a huge bombshell. 谢谢。
不客气，我有帮你打那个显影剂啦，我怕说万一不是中风，万一是肿瘤。
Because he said it in Chinese, I missed it initially.
肿瘤。
But yes, when Annie was explaining to me outside what exactly he'd said and this possibility of a brain tumor,
And to check if you have the stroke or the cancer. 肿瘤。
it just threw another possible diagnosis into the mix and gave me something else to worry about.
Tumor.
Yeah, that's cancer, right? Holy shit.
We have to check first. He doesn't know that, okay?
Okay. Yeah. I felt terrible. Let's just say terrible is about as descriptive as I want to be at the moment without bursting into tears. Ooh, bloody hell. Oh, I fucking hate this. Oh my god, that's so fucking scary. Scared was certainly one of the most powerful emotions that I had running through my body at that moment. If I had a stroke, that's it. It's just happened and nothing can change. If I have Parkinson's, I'll get old really quickly. If I have cancer, I'll just die. But amongst all of the negative moments, there was some positive feeling and gratitude towards my friend Annie. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Throughout this whole process, she gave up her time, cancelled work, accompanied me to every single appointment. There is no way I could do this without you. And of course, she dismissed my thanks at the time,
没关系啊，然后
claiming that anybody would do exactly the same thing. But I really want to put it on record how awesome and amazing she was.
对，这边耳部窄。
But yes, Annie took my thanks very humbly and immediately got back to rearranging things and keeping my schedule in check.
我们下礼拜还要再来一次 ，OK？
That's the CT scan, right?
对。
Yes, we have 8 days to wait until the CT scan, the CAT scan. And that's going to give us a lot more information. Having to wait 8 days for an answer to something as serious as this is really anxiety-inducing. But I also have to think that there are lots of people in the hospital that are sicker than me and have bigger problems to face, so it's all relative. So after continuing to take medication for a stroke for the next 8 days, that brings us to May 28th, when it was time for my first CT scan. Okay, so the day has arrived. I've been booked in for a CT scan. Check out the old noggin. And how do I feel? I'm sure you people really care more about my feelings rather than the process. I feel 50% absolutely terrified. 50% numb, I guess. So after registering and finding the right hospital department, I was being hooked up to an IV, and while I was doing so, still try my best to entertain people around me and make people laugh.
什么名字？
你可以叫我帅哥。帅叔叔。But eventually, after a short wait, it was time for my first ever CT scan, which, as far as I know, went very smoothly. Okay, so the CT scan has been done and they let me film it. I did ask for permission from the radiologist and he was very welcoming. But anyway, we'll get our results on Tuesday next week because on Friday I'm off to film the Waren series with Ku with an undiagnosed nervous system condition. But anyway, we do what we can for YouTube. But yeah, anyway, I'll give you an update as and when I know more. Now, talking of Ku's military video, the Liangshan Budwei series, this was filmed in early June, well before I got any formal diagnosis, so I think you can see quite clearly in that video, my mental focus is 100% not on the military exercises and being told what to do by the instructors. Let's just say I had some other things on my mind distracting me mentally from what was happening. And of course, there are some specific examples where I was physically not up to scratch and let the team down.
We cannot promise your life.
But there was no way I was going to be telling anybody what was going on with me medically, as I knew for my own health they would protect me and they would pull me out of the video, and there is no way I was going to allow that to happen.
You want to quit now?
Get the out of here, bro. As it happened, I got pulled out of the video anyway because my knee gave up, probably nothing to do with my diagnosis.
对，他们现在要去急诊，我就看可以怎么处理，但我觉得我们应该明天不会看到他。
I probably will make a full video in future talking about how my diagnosis at the time was affecting my performance in that video. But anyway, yes, that was Ku's military video, filmed and done, and it was time to get back to Taichung, back to China Medical University Hospital, and get my diagnosis, get the reports from that CT scan. Well, welcome back. It is June 3rd, and it is results day from the CT scan. So as you can imagine, pretty nervous, but if you notice a bit of a funny walk, it's because I've just got back last night from the Waren Diejie. But yes, we're gonna go and see the doctor I think that we saw the time before last, the guy who sent me for a CT scan.
报告是正常的，我帮你看一下，我再帮你看一下片子。那有时候太小的中风会看不到。
So yeah, this is where things get a little bit mixed up, a little bit confusing, and a little bit frustrating to say the least, because the doctor is still diagnosing me with a minor stroke, despite the fact he says quite clearly
the CD is normal.
Almost normal, because I had a lipoma that was removed in another video, not related to my diagnosis. Is it sure I had a small stroke? But yes, there was no signs of a stroke in the CT scan, and the doctor's explanation.
When the stroke is very small, you cannot be found in the CT study, because when you have several cuts in your CT study, you cannot be seen in the first cut and the second cut.
A little bit weird to me that he still continues to diagnose a stroke when he hadn't seen any evidence of a stroke, just my symptoms showed maybe there was a stroke. But anyway, yes, I left a little bit disappointed.
好，这样就可以了哈。
感谢。
不客气，不客气。
But I continue to take the medication for the stroke that the doctor had prescribed me for another week. Okay, so we are leaving the hospital with another bag of medicine, 3 weeks of medicine to treat for a suspected stroke. The doctor is pretty sure I've had a minor stroke. He's sure it's not Parkinson's, but he still said that there's nothing showing a stroke on the CT scan. He just thinks that all my symptoms point towards a stroke. I just had a feeling something wasn't right. And after discussing this with Annie and getting more encouragement from her, I attended Linshin Hospital, where I was going to get my third opinion. And although I did film it, the audio didn't record very well, but the doctor at Linshin Hospital told me the easiest way to find out whether or not I'd had a stroke was for an MRI scan, which is much more detailed and clear than a CT scan and doesn't have cuts in between frames. It will show the whole brain and will easily identify if I had a stroke or not. And then if it was confirmed that I didn't have a stroke, then there's a radioactive DAT scan that is specifically designed for identifying and diagnosing Parkinson's and the dopamine receptors in the brain. No idea why this hadn't been suggested to me by the previous 2 doctors, but I was very happy to get booked in for an MRI scan on the very same day. I remember it was a typhoon day that I went to see the doctor. The MRI scan went very smoothly, and then a couple of weeks later, I took the TRODAT scan, the radioactive DAT scan. Okay, so it's August the 1st. I haven't filmed anything for this video for a few weeks. I didn't feel too right with the doctor's diagnosis of just having a small stroke that we couldn't see on the CT scan. Long story short, I went to get a second opinion at Lin Shin Hospital last week. I went in to see another doctor. Immediately he said, well, you should have an MRI scan to check for a stroke.
Hello. 它这个那个 brain 的 MRI 哈 ，brain MRI 是 no lesion 啊 ，no stroke，no tumor。
哦，这个是什么？
artery 脑动脉。我们所谓的中风会担心就是脑动脉。这个 artery 是怎么看的？就是说看这个有没有 smooth。Yeah. Smooth.
And also, I was booked in for a TRODAT scan, which is a test that examines the neurotransmitters in the brain. So hopefully we should find out whether I've had Parkinson's or it's all in my mind and I'm fine and nothing is wrong with me.
可是我看一下这个 Parkinson 这个，哦 ，Parkinson 这个就比较有 abnormal。
哦，
Parkinson 这个主要是看list 2，其实就会觉得就是应该是要orange or yellow. Orange yellow is functional good. The left brain, the basal ganglia function decrease. 主要是那个啦 ，Parkinson disease. 帕金森氏病。
Okay, that's not very good news. So yes, that's it. 42 years old, 43 now actually, and I have been diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's disease. I plan to have a lot to say at the end of this video regarding supporting others and using my channel as a vehicle for helping others. And I was going to talk about how I'm happy to be in Taiwan, where medical care is of a very high standard. But I think most of you just wanted to find out what's wrong with me. I'm sure you'll send me lots of messages of support and encouragement. But I'll make more videos in future about how it will affect my life and how it will affect the channel and my family and William. But I know that I have a great support network around me, whether that's friends and family, viewers, the local Taiwanese people, and of course the medical staff. I'm very happy to be facing this here in Taiwan with the support of all those people that I just mentioned. But I don't want to sit here and it's been almost a year since I've known, and I'm slowly getting used to it. I'm still a little bit in denial and have faced some other issues because of my medication and disease, which I'll get into in future videos. But yeah, here it is. That's the facts. I'm so happy that I have a diagnosis, that I'm still not taking stroke medication, and yeah, I think you can understand why I just want to wrap this video up and get to making the next video when I'm a little bit stronger. Thanks for watching. I hope this video hasn't been too negative or too sad. I wanted it to be very informative and show the process of a difficult diagnosis. And I thank every one of the doctors and nurses that has seen me and made it their mission to get me diagnosed. So I'll be in touch in future. There's still going to be lots of Life in Taiwan videos coming. Not all about Parkinson's, of course, but I probably will address the situation occasionally. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. As for now and as always, I'll see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace.